Time comes for us all. And now it's time to talk about what happens when your life reaches a point where you have to move because you need to be closer to family, either because you're either headed towards retirement or you have a need to go care for aging family members. This topic comes up a bunch, and we're going to get into it today. Hi, I'm Jason Wilson with Ursula and Associates. Welcome to our channel. Please consider subscribing. Give us a thumbs up if you found value in this content. We would love to help the algorithm out, get this information out to people who actually need it. Thanks so much. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so we're going to cover 5 things today that you need to either answer or know before you put your property on the market here in the Cherokee County, Cobb County area so that you can get closer to family. Number 1, we need to know when you need to have that move accomplished. A lot of times these situations start to evolve over time. This happened with my parents having to move closer to my grandparents as they were aging towards end of life and they needed to have family support. So they relocated from the areas that we were at in New York back to the Chicagoland area to be close to their family before they came, to Florida and followed us eventually to Georgia and now live here. During that time, there was this push to have to go. So when that comes up, this is a conversation that usually is evolving. Sometimes it's very sudden. The first thing we need to answer, number 1, is when do you need to be there? Because that allows us to go back steps to say all this prep work we need to get started on. The sooner you start asking the questions, the better off everything's going to be in terms of your results overall. Okay? So that's going to be number 1. Now let's talk about number 2. What needs to be done to the house to make it ready? So this becomes we start with the when, now we're into the what. When it comes to getting a house ready, certain houses, especially in this market, you can't just throw it on the market as is and go that direction. There is a market for as is properties always, but the price that it costs you can be a lot. So there's certain things that regardless of price point, you're going to want to consider doing. So this is where what we would do is meet with you and do a walkthrough of the property and talk about the must-have things. And then the next category would be the things that you could consider depending on what price you're trying to go for. But the must get it done things that are deferred maintenance stuff that will cost you way more in a price reduction versus you actually doing the things so that you can get a better price. We're going to cover that, and then you can weigh the options. But what must be done? This is where you're going to want a professional real estate agent with you to walk you through this to say, if you want to hit this target price point in between here and here, that's really what's going to happen. So here and here, that's where you're going to find what needs to be done to the property for here and here. Number 3, where does the price fall? Where is your pricing going to be at on this house? Now, if you have a desired price and you've done some research on this, then it just becomes using number 2, saying, okay, if that's your price and it's within the bounds of what can be done, then we need to do the following things to the property to make that work. That's one of the key things, is what needs to be done to make that work. So pricing is going to be a key thing. Now, here's one of the things that you're going to want to consider. You may have a desired price. You're like, oh, okay, well, what do I need to do to make it worth $800,000? Well, if the highest comps in the area are $600,000, it's going to be very unlikely that we're going to have a list of simple things to do to make it worth $200,000 more than what other things are in the area. And so what you see a lot in real estate, because so many people got into this, is agents will tell you whatever price you want to hear so that you sign with them. Then they're going to let the market be the bad guy and go, well, nobody wants to buy the house. And that is a problem. What you really want to do is consider talking to somebody who is going to tell you the truth, even if it causes you to hire somebody else, but they're going to tell you the truth about what the property's worth and where they believe they can get it and how they're going to be able to get it there. Articulate the how, and then establish the price. They're also going to want to back it up with data. One of the things that I'm able to do when we go on a listing presentation is not only show the comparables, but walk you through my logic in pricing the house. Rather than just going, here's the price, here's 5 comps, let's do this. We go and say, here's the range of things. And then we walk you through, okay, are we like this? Are we like this? If we fix this, are we like this? Here's this price, here's this price. What do these features have? What does this one have that this one doesn't? And walk you to a price where you feel like, now I have a price that we can agree on, but I understand how we got to that price, right? That's the biggest key, is having clear understanding of, okay, now I see. And that's one of the big things. Number 4, hire the right agent. We talked about it a little bit in number 3, but hiring the right agent is somebody who's going to tell you the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. They're going to give you all of the information so that you can make the best decision for yourself. So we'll even reference back to number 1. In some cases, people have to do an as-is sale, and they're willing to take a steep discount to do so because it's what's right for them. Convenience over money. Never let a real estate agent dictate what is important to you. If you are like, look, I'd rather give up some money so that I can move this thing along, and what I need is simplicity in my life, then you want somebody who's like, okay, now that I understand that, we'll move the pricing to here, and I will do X, Y, and Z and have a clear plan of how we're going to execute on that for you. So hiring the right agent is, they're going to tell you the truth. They're going to show you the experience. They're going to be able to explain and justify how they got to pricing. They're going to show you an actual marketing plan of how they're going to execute that. And that marketing plan better include professional photography. It better include the use of current AI technology on how to be able to get your property in front of buyers. And they should be able to articulate and show you their experience in using these things to get it done. Now let's go to number 5. Number 5, this one is the open houses. When you get to the point of launching, you've done all the things to the property, the front end marketing, professional photography, videography, drone photography, all those things are done. Now we're to the point where we actually have to do the next step in the process. And that next step in the process is going to be a strategic open house. So how we handle that process is we typically go live at the end of a Wednesday. We block out showings for Thursday and Friday, try to hold an open house for Saturday and Sunday, and then drive all the people in. We invite all the neighbors to be able to come, because here's the thing that nobody thinks about. Neighbors don't wear name tags. They don't come in going, hi, my name's Jim. I'm the nosy neighbor. I'm not here to buy the house. I just want to see what kind of paint he uses and look in his closets. That's everybody's fear and thought. But the reality is, the more people that show up there, legitimate buyers see more people, and they tend to, if they're interested in the property, they tend not to go on the cheaper end of what they're willing to do, but pay you what they feel the property's worth. This will produce a higher, better result. Case in point, even though interest rates are sitting around 7%, we did this with 2 open houses, one in a $330,000 price point, one in an $800,000 price point. Through both the open houses, more than 40 people came through both of those open houses. The one in the $330,000 price point received 11 offers, and the one in the $800,000 price point received 4 offers by the time it was all said and done. Both of them sold for over their asking price, and it required a lot of strategy to be able to get this done. So those are my 5 tips if you're thinking about having to sell a property so it's time to get close to family. Then hire the right agent, go through this process, measure those things, and you will find a successful transition from here back to home, wherever that may be for you, so that you can be with your loved ones. Thanks a lot. If you got value out of this, please consider giving us a thumbs up or a comment below, and also consider subscribing to the channel as we give real estate advice in general across the United States, watching the markets, as well as hyper local for those that are in this community and need to buy and sell and want to know what the best strategies are. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.